computer, I guess.
In case we get any.
And we are live.
Oh, hey, baby.
All right.
I was surprised.
Well, welcome back to the Dsog vlog. This is episode 15. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
15. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've done 15 of these.
That's actually really impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We've really stuck with it. Be proud of ourselves, guys.
Yeah. No one watches, but like at least we know we
We
did.
should
that's all.
We should tweet this out.
Oh, I can tweet the deets.
Yeah, dude, go ahead and tweet it. Copy the link, maybe.
That's a unique thing that you can do with Tweeter. You can just hold on. I'm gonna go to my channel.
Welcome back to the Dsog vlog. I am Brooks. My in-game name is Camel Hunt, and I'm joined here by our beautiful and ever-present co-hosts. Go ahead, gentlemen.
My name is Carl. In-game name is Dsog Big Boy.
Man, your name is Carlitos. Be proud of what your real name is, Carl.
Yeah. My name's Ken. That's at Dsog Ken, but in real life, it's just Ken, and in game, it's Beckraj. So,
Ken, where did your name come from? Your
Beckraj?
Gamer name? Yeah.
Do you want the long version or the short version?
I don't. Mine's pretty stupid. Where mine came from is pretty stupid. So I'm just wondering, like, if Carl's obviously is. He didn't put very much thought into his either. So
I put so much. How many times have I changed my name?
Yeah,
like there has to be some kind of thought put into it, right?
So I'm just curious.
So when I was in the 8th grade, I decided I needed like an online name, right? And I went with Hasamu, which was.
Isn't that still one of your?
That is one of on RuneScape. That's what my name is. Because
is that one of your email accounts too, though?
Yes, HasamuWindy@gmail.com was the Gmail account I made in the 8th grade. I don't
back
use
when Ken was a weeb.
Back when, right? Yeah, it was previously.
Still a weeb.
It's no longer. Right. So I made that as my like online name was Hasamu, which is the Japanese name for the Pokemon Scizor, who was at the time my favorite Pokemon. Go through high school, go through a really bad breakup after my senior year, and I decide that like Hasamu was a persona I needed to get rid of, and I needed to adopt a new one. And for some reason, I was just like making sounds with my mouth. I don't know. I did this. I was like, Beckraj. And I was like, wait a minute, that could be a thing. And so Beckraj. I don't know.
Sound like you're like trying to pronounce. You're a white person trying to pronounce like a Middle Eastern language, like Beckraj.
Right. And anyway, so Beckraj. It just like I kind of liked the way it sounded, and it stuck. I played an entire campaign on Skyrim as the character Beckraj, and I developed this whole persona as this person with like honor and duty is like their big thing, and so Beckraj just stuck. That's how I got the name.
That's cool. I'm glad you have that. I'm glad you have a cool story where you had to break away from your old.
I don't know if it's a cool story. It's a story.
Yeah. You probably don't think it's very cool, but I don't know. It's better than where mine came from. So.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead.
Was my way of getting over my ex-girlfriend. So
there we go. We all have our ways of doing these things.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into that. That's a dangerous territory. I don't want to.
It's all right. She could be watching right now.
I want to open up that can of worms.
Yeah,
frankly,
yeah, she's totally watching right now.
Yeah, dude.
But no, I'm the only person watching. But that's beside the point. But
we have no fans.
We're going to go ahead. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff. So obviously, this is a show where we talk about League of Legends. We're going to talk about that first. There's not much stuff to talk about. Besides that, MSI still in about a week and a half. MSI.
Oh wow!
The only team that we do not know yet is the team from the LPO, the Chinese team. And surprise, surprise, it's either going to be RNG or EDG. As if there could be an international event where Uzi or Clear Love is not there. As if that ever could exist. But yeah, let's talk about this though for a real quick second. One of the things that I think is incredible is that Uzi has never won anything.
But he's so good.
Despite being considered the best AD carry in the world. Like most people would say he's probably
I don't know
the
if
best.
he is, but he's always in the discussion. Like whenever
I was like, if he's not the best, he's at least
one
the
of the top
second.
3.
Well,
I mean, you can talk about Prey.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say Prey might be better. Some kind of fringe people might say Reckless or Sven, or like those hardcore Double Lift fanboys might say Double Lift. But no, like I always thought it was between Prey and Uzi. Like those are the two I think of when I think it was the top 2 ADCs in the world.
I think probably like 2 years ago, probably would have said Bang.
Bang. Yeah. I don't know.
Think back to 2 years ago though.
No, you're talking about season 5, right?
Yeah, when Bang was railing people, season 5, season 6,
Are we talking about season 6 or season 5? Because season 5, I'll say yes. Season 6, I'll say.
I mean, he won the world championship both times. So.
Right, but I think both Prey and Uzi were better in season 6 than Bang was. SKT as a team in season 6 was just incredible. Does that make sense? Like I'm not saying that he's a bad ADC. I'm putting him in the top 3.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the other 2 were better.
But yeah. I really hope that RNG wins, because I actually want to see Uzi win something that is not a 1v1 competition at All Stars.
I just want to see it because of like the storyline of the best ADC from every region is going to show up at MSI.
I agree.
I mean, think about that. That's pretty cool. Uzi, Prey, Double Lift, and Reckless all show up at MSI. Who takes it? Like that's
definitively the best AD carry. Like historically,
the best ADC.
You know what I mean? Like
of every
the best ADC
every one of those
every region since the beginning, like almost
since season, at least since season 4. At least since season 4. Yeah. Well, Bang season 4 because Piglet before that. So like
maybe take away Prey, but like Reckless and Double Lift and Uzi have always been the best in their regions.
Mm-hmm.
So So that's amazing. I really want to see him win. I'd also love to see their mid laner Zhao Hu win, because I think he has a really cool story. I thought he had a really cool story at Worlds last year, and he also is very, very good.
I like their top laner.
Which one? They got 2 of them.
Wait, am I confusing them for the wrong team?
They have Zitai and they have Let Me on RNG.
Yeah, Let Me. I like Let Me.
Let Me. Yeah. I also like MLXG because he's kind of weird, and
is he Love on RNG?
I always thought he looked like Dopey from
who?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Is that the one? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Wait, who'd you say, Carl?
Isn't Clear Love on RNG?
No, he's
on ED.
He's like EDG's like
you're right.
player. It's cool, man. I don't pay attention to the LPL that much either.
I literally only pay attention when it matters. And this is like when it matters, and I'm just like, may as well watch some of their games because there's no other league going on
It's kind of like the NBA, right? Where like you don't pay attention until playoffs.
True.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's like, what? Are you saying me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care about the NBA until the Pelicans were looking very well in the playoffs. I'm like, oh yeah, my home team's winning. Good. Whereas on the exact opposite with the Saints, I'm like, I'm always following the Saints.
They play like 80 games in a season. You know what I mean? Like
it's hard.
That's a shit ton of game. It's even worse for like baseball. Baseball plays like 200 games in a year.
Like people freaking love it. Like they love.
I can't stand watching
baseball. Baseball fans. If you're a baseball fan, like that's your thing.
You're committed.
And same with the NBA. Whereas like I feel like with the NFL, a lot more people are just like, because it's one game a week for their team, they just kind of like passively.
And there's only 16 games in the season.
Also, I mean, that's kind of how I felt about best of threes versus best of ones. Like best of threes, you had so many fucking games you had to watch, and best of ones, you can just like watch all of them, right? Like,
but I watched all the best of threes.
I know. I couldn't keep up with it. Hell, I had trouble keeping up with all of the best of ones this split. Like, best of threes sucked for me. Like, I only ever watched the TSN.
Yeah.
games.
I remember when we tried to do our like weekly breakdowns, like it was hard to coordinate everybody. Be like, all right, you're gonna watch these games, and you're gonna definitely watch those games. Just
Imagine if we had best of threes to handle.
That would have been hell.
yeah, we would have needed at least 6 people on the team to get that done. We couldn't have done it before.
That was
impossible.
Which,
Those are already,
by
those
the
are
way,
already
guys, we are starting. We are going to be doing those rundowns again for the summer split, right?
Are we? I thought we were gonna do. We were gonna follow the timelines of teams instead.
Is that okay?
We're gonna do.
I thought we said we were.
I thought we were gonna do a second video alongside the Dsog vlog where it was literally we just go through, have a 6-minute breakdown of how a team performed every weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna do something similar. Again, because we stopped doing it, right? We stopped doing it like 3/4 of the way through the split.
Yeah, because it was just too much.
Because it was just too much.
That's
So
too
we're gonna
repetitive.
be bringing it back in a different form.
new and improved.
The new and improved
gaming content for sure,
and more hopefully.
Yeah. Well, how's everybody doing in the good old Brolo queue? I have started within the last like week and a half. I guess like last Thursday, I think I started playing a lot more solo queue, just generally a lot more League. And
It's a good time.
Silver 2 is just as much of a shithole as any place in the entirety of this game. Like, Silver 2 is just atrocious.
It's the worst elo.
It's awful, dude.
It
Silver
is
3 was so easy. Just coasted through. Literally like one-tricked barred all the way, man. So easy. Got to Silver 2. My God. It's just awful, dude. It is just, it's disgusting. But Carl, have you played any games recently?
Yeah, I've been playing like 1 or 2 games a day. Just flex queue though, and I went from bronze 3 to bronze 1 in the past week. So
hell yeah, dude.
Wait, Carl, you've been playing games?
Yeah, I've been playing games.
Dude, why haven't you?
Because normally it's like 11 o'clock at night when I get off work.
Oh yeah,
and I know you're asleep.
I'm not awake. I'm not awake then. I'm asleep. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been let me look at my op.gg real quick. So I can show who I've been playing. But I played 1 game of Aurelia.
How is she?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I only played I've only played 1 game of Aurelia.
Did you win?
No, we lost that game.
So you're saying you're bad. If you were good, you just pick
Dude,
up.
we're all bad.
You
Let's just get
pick
that
up
out.
a new
Well,
champion
I was
instantly be good. That's how it works.
The thing is, I was expecting to get mid, and then the guy who was top was like, "Hey, can I mid?" And you know me, I'm nice, so I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
You are a nice guy. This is
This is why I
you
play
like
support, so I don't have to argue with people. I just play support. No one
So,
complains.
Hey, if you get to mid gold, you never have to worry about not having your role because there are enough people in that role in that game that like it's anyway.
Yeah.
Go on, Carl.
But you know that I went 0-8-3 that game.
Hell yeah, dude! Beat that ass off, baby.
Own it. Own it.
Well, they had a
I did
they
last night.
they had a Cho'Gath on their team who got hella fed.
I mean, wait, was that your lane opponent?
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it.
So yeah, but yeah, I've been playing a bit.
Was she fun?
She's fun to play. She's a lot of fun to play.
Okay, cool.
I just suck. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of. I played a great game of LeBlanc. I've been playing a couple of LeBlanc, some Nocturne,
Fuck that,
some Karma.
Is it Nocturne good? Isn't he good? He's so good.
I have a 100% win rate on Thresh right now. But I've only played 1 game of Thresh.
I was about to say, how many games have you played?
Just 1.
Your Thresh actually isn't that bad though. I've seen it. It's pretty well. I don't know. We've duoed before. I've been ADC and you've been Thresh, and it wasn't bad.
The thing about Thresh is, if you don't get ahead,
yeah,
Thresh is
It's
like
hard.
playing the game 4v6. Like it's literally like if you don't get ahead with Thresh, you're basically helping the other team. Like it's bad. It's bad. Thresh is really hard to play from behind, which is like one of the reasons why I only play him in like a flex queue or a situation where I'm just not good enough at him. I know I'm good at Thresh. I'm just not good enough.
Good at Thresh.
I
wouldn't put him in your top 5 champs.
I do have a 60+ win rate with Nocturne, Karma, and Taric though.
How many Nocturne games have you played?
5.
All right, cool.
T Daddy, dude. Taric, otherwise known as T Daddy. He's pretty good.
How's Flex and solo queue treating y'all?
For me, I've been trying to play solo queue when I can, and like people are banning Nocturne, and it makes me so sad because I'm like, my champion is finally OP. I think it since 8.7, I'm like 10-2 on him. But like in the past couple days since I've been playing, like past like 4 or 5 days, not even because I didn't play this weekend. I've been super busy trying to get FYI, anybody watching, we're trying to get a LAN center started, Dirty South Gaming LAN center, and I've been super busy trying to get that going. And I haven't played a whole lot, but.
Are we gonna call it the Dirty South Gaming LAN Center? Like
it will be the Dirty South Gaming Center, I think.
Okay.
How's that? Is that good?
I was thinking Dirty South Gaming Esports Center.
Woo!
I like Carl. I like it.
That's good. Yeah. So
I actually thought about you earlier today. I was playing a game and I had a Nocturne on my team.
Earlier today, so
I had a Nocturne on my team. What'd you say?
You also texted me earlier today. I hope you thought about me.
Yeah, I thought about.
Oh no, I just always text Ken, and I'm not even thinking about him. I just text him.
When I was playing a game, I had a Nocturne on my team. First of all, the dude went the gold smite. What is it called?
Wrong.
What is the gold one called? I don't even remember.
Blood Razor.
Blood Razor. Okay, that's what it was. I thought that was like something.
There are very few situations you take Blood Razor on
that they like removed like years ago. But this dude, he went Blood Razor. Okay, so he had a good game. I'll be fair. He had a good game. But at like level 3, he decides to gank top lane Nasus. And
who was your top laner?
Our top laner. My top lane was Nasus. Our top lane. He goes to gank the Nasus lane against a Katarina, a top lane Katarina. When it's a top lane Katarina, you know this guy knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, this motherfucker has the balls to pick Katarina in the top lane. He's probably pretty good. And so Nocturne, who doesn't have good ganks really before 6.
He's really hard. You gotta
mediocre ganks.
It's got to be in the right way.
Is going to gank Nasus, who is mediocre to bad in the early game.
Yeah.
At like level 3.
And is Nasus also level 3? Because that does make a huge difference.
Maybe Nasus was level 2. I don't know.
If Nasus is level 2, you can't. That gank doesn't work. Like there are some ways it can work if Nasus is level 3, but there is no way it works if Nasus is level 2.
But they give up the double kill. Nocturne rages.
God.
You know, and I'm just like, but dude, you just tried to gank a notoriously bad early game champion with a champion that can't gank until like level 6. What the hell are you doing, man? Like, that's literally my journey through Silver 2. Is I'm literally just like, what are you doing?
Also,
like, I'm literally sitting here losing my mind. Like, what
makes sense why you would go attack speed.
People doing?
The reason why you would go attack speed, Nocturne gets my blood boiling. If anyone plays Nocturne wrong, you can ask these guys. If I play a game where I don't play jungle and our jungler picks Nocturne, if they don't do it exactly how I think they should, it infuriates me.
This is any jungler in general, actually.
Well, you're right. If I don't play
any jungler that isn't Ken, he gets pissed.
Because they don't know how to jungle.
But
it's true. This is why, like, every time I'm like, I'm gonna play a role other than jungle, and then like my jungler like loses us the game, and I'm just like, well, I'm going back because I'd rather lose the game controlling the jungle than lose the game without controlling the jungle, because it's where I feel I have the most. Anyway, so if the enemy team picks Katarina top, that means they're probably a team full of squishies, which is where which is where
Swain mid maybe, which he's kind of tanky. So.
He's kind of tanky, but if the enemy has 3 squishies, there is no reason to go anything but attack speed Nocturne, because if they're all squishy, then attack damage Nocturne, because if they're all squishy, you can delete one within a second and a half. Like, it's just, if you ult onto them, they're probably going to die after level 6. Like,
and he did that. He did that with Nocturne. He did that a couple times.
Good.
And he had like probably the only positive KDA on the team. He had a good game. We just lost, and he was being very mean the whole time.
Keeping mean on Nocturne.
Let's move on a little bit from our Brolo Q adventures.
Actually, hold on. Y'all want to play some flex after this?
Yes, I do. Actually, I was going to ask. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. But before we get into our second topic, Ken had something that he wanted to debate with us about. What was?
I want to debate
properly.
I want to debate that League of Legends skins are a better purchase for your wallet than Fortnite skins.
Okay.
And here's why. League of Legends skins apply to a champion that you play, that you've measured the goodness of the champion, and you want to show some love to the champion. Because that champion is something you connect with, you're good at, whatever. That champion's strengths are what you're kind of showing off. Because when you pick a skin to show off that you got skill. Like, I don't play champions with skins that I'm not good at that champion already, with the exception of Pulsefire Ezreal and Project Ash, because I got them from Hextech Crafting. I didn't buy those skins. But the skins I bought them because I'm like, I'm good at Elise. I'm going to play an Elise skin. Fortnite, however, you're not good at a character. They're all the same. So why does it matter why you picked a skin for one person over another? You're not showing anything off. You're not doing anything. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why you would pick the skin. You're supporting the game. You're not supporting the champion choice. You're supporting the game. So in both cases, you support Riot Games by purchasing a skin. You support Fortnite by purchasing a skin. This is fine. These are both fine transactions. But the reason why Riot's better is because they give you variety on champion selection, and you're showing off that you're good at the champion. So that's why I think League of Legends skins are better, is because there's more reason to put your money towards a champion skin rather than Fortnite skin, where you're just like basically just supporting the game.
I don't know, man. I've seen plenty of people who are garbage that got Project Vayne. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people just buy skins because they got money to blow.
Hey, I'm not saying that the people who buy the skins are good. I'm saying that they're trying to show off that they think they're good. Like, that there's motivation.
Oh, you think you bad?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason why I own every single Nocturne skin, but there's also a reason why I'm Gold 1, not Challenger. Like, I
think that this is Ken's logical opinion. I'll say that, because Ken purchases skins because he believes that he is giving back to the champion. I'll be honest. I love Bard. Bard is my favorite skin. I love Braum. I have 2 Braum skins, but I don't use either of those skins because I like the default Braum better, and I think that I play with the default Braum better. So
I think that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think your reasoning is a logical opinion.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying this is 100% fact. Go spend your money where you want to spend your money. I'm saying this is why I spend my money with League. And if I played Fortnite, I probably wouldn't spend money on Fortnite because
I have one item in Fortnite. Granted, I've played this game for about 2 weeks. I have one item, and it was free. So,
are you talking about from when the
rust bucket thing, where you get like a, it's free. But let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, that's. I just wanted to say my piece about why I prefer.
I will say, I think the one reason to get Fortnite skins, especially outfits, is because you don't have control of what your character looks like if you don't have a skin, and that gives you some control as to like whether you want to play a male or a female or something like that. That's all.
Sometimes I feel uncomfortable when I have to play some fat booty white chick. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm not a fat booty white chick.
I don't feel uncomfortable, but I do get a little tight in my pants.
And that's it. Brooks is done.
Right.
That was it for the Dsog vlog, ladies and gentlemen. Well, see you
guys
next
always made fun of me as the hunter guy. Now we got Carl.
But okay, let's just to prevent Carl from getting any more excited, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic, which so esports journalism is something that's been growing within the past few years. We have some people that have been around in the scene since the beginning. People like Thorin, people like Travis Gafford, if anyone doesn't know. Thorin Shields, I think is his last name, but I mean I don't know what his real name is, but that's what he calls himself. So there's like levels of esports journalism. You'll have people like Jacob Wolf, who works for ESPN, and what Jacob does is very much like reporting the news. Like tells us what happened. Doesn't really give us much opinion. Doesn't really talk to the players. Just tells us what happened. Probably his biggest year was last year, whenever he was the one to break all the news about franchising and all of that kind of stuff. And then recently he broke some news that High was leaving Golden Guardians. You know, there's not a lot of opinion involved in what he says. He just breaks the news. Then you have someone like Travis, who does a lot of interviews. That's mainly what he does. He does a lot of interviews. He also does Hotline League. He seems to portray the persona of someone who is very much a fan, but is also a reporter at the same time.
He's a reporter that brings opinions to the scene, I feel.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like he's a person that when he interviews pro players, he talks to them as a friend, but he also asks them questions that a reporter would ask them. He asks them the occasional hard-hitting question. Not like super hard-hitting, but he asks them questions that need to be asked. And then you have someone like Thorne, who...
Whoa, wait. Can we go through Kelsey Moser before we go all the way to Thorin?
Okay, then there's Kelsey Moser, who Brooks doesn't like very much, if that's not obvious yet by the tone of my voice. Kelsey Moser, she writes a lot of opinion articles, a lot of articles where she acts as the authority on how to play the game.
But they're not like charged. It's more of like she has an opinion and she's putting it out there.
It's like a fact-based opinion.
Yeah, it's like it's an authority-based opinion. I wouldn't say a fact-based.
Well,
it's an authority.
She does use a lot of facts to back up
her opinion.
She does, but she also, the tone of the way that she writes is very authoritative, I think is what Ken's trying to get at.
Yes.
It is like fact-based opinion in a way, but the way that she writes and the way that she comes across is very authoritative.
Right.
And she also shows up on a lot of talk shows and stuff like that. Yeah. She used to do a lot more before she started working for H2K as an analyst.
Yeah.
And then I think
she was with Yahoo Esports and stuff.
She's kind of getting back into. Yeah, she was in like the last few months of Yahoo Esports even existing. And then you have someone like Thorin, who considers himself like the esports historian. He's a really big CSGO guy, but he covers stuff in every single esport, every single one of the really, really big ones.
Most of CSGO, Overwatch, and League. He branches into others, but like I would say his tier list is like CSGO and then like League and then Overwatch. Like there's a big jump between CSGO and League.
And then I've also watched a couple of videos where he talked to some Dota personalities, and he talked about StarCraft too. I saw.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so he covers almost everything. He's pretty impressive.
That's really awesome.
But the way that his style of journalism is very, I don't want to say like aggressive. It's kind of aggressive in a way. He inserts his opinion into everything, but he also maintains a position as a journalist. And I say that because like he has the journalistic integrity is what I'm getting at. Like, for all the shit talking that he will do on TSM, he will still have Reggie on to talk about TSM, and he is cordial with Reggie.
Yes.
You know,
I would say he interjects his opinion, but he's also very fact oriented. Like, he takes the facts and he says, "Here's my take on it." You know, basically, like, you know, he talks about, if you go listen to his double lift piece.
Damn, I've been meaning to watch that. You gave us, like,
in my opinion, I think his double lift piece is one of the greatest pieces on esports you'll ever watch. It's a 30-minute piece where he basically says, like, double lift is one of the greatest players of League of Legends ever, and here are his accomplishments. Here are the things in his career. Here's what's happened directly to him. Here's what he's directly done, and here are some things that have happened indirectly to him that make me claim why he's one of the top 10 best League of Legends players ever. And so, while he's very aggressive about the way that he talks about double lift as being this great talent and everything. So I think that's a great example of Thorin, as, like, he's like, I'm not compromising on my opinion, and let me give you a factual reason why I came to this opinion. You might disagree.
Yeah.
You know, a good point of contention.
Here's another thing about Thorin, though, is, like, he has videos like that, but he also often does like, kind of like a talk show format like we are doing, where he's much more unhinged. He's much more intense and aggressive in his opinions. I don't know if you guys have seen, but he would do ones with Monte Cristo back in the day, who were both very, very opinionated, very you know,
so much fun.
Yeah. He also does some with Kelsey Moser, where he does like several of these different kind of shows. Yeah. But really, what made me want to talk about this, and we can branch into several parts of journalism in the esports sphere as a whole, but was because last week on Hotline League they had a guy who covers almost exclusively the Overwatch League, but is obviously knowledgeable in other areas, named Slasher, who had gotten into this massive Twitter feud with Thorin, where they were just, like, yelling F-bombs at each other over Twitter. It was pretty nasty. But Slasher came on after someone had called into Hotline League. This guy had basically said that Golden Guardians did not care about their team in the LCS. They were bad. You know, none of the content that they had was any good, and all of that stuff. And Travis lives with a member of the Golden Guardians, management team, and is very close with another guy who was able to get them into the league, and was basically trying to brack up his friends while also simultaneously understanding where this guy was coming from. He was very middle of the road, Travis. And then Slasher came on and was, like, basically saying that Golden Guardians was an embarrassment, that they were awful, they didn't need to be in the league, they didn't need to be part of franchising, they were the worst part of franchising, all of this kind of stuff. And it really got my mind thinking on what kind of journalism esports needs, because when you look at traditional sports, there are people like what Slasher did. There are people that are very, very aggressive in their opinions, but yet still everyone is mostly, like, middle of the road and willing to argue with you and all of that kind of stuff. Slasher was just kind of shitting on them, which I didn't really like, that kind of point of view. And I'm not saying he was wrong. He was right for the most part. But
Immortals died for this.
let's kind of
Immortals died for this.
What kind of journalism do you guys like to see? Do you like all of the possible facets? And do you think that if journalism were to stay in this kind of aggressive sphere that we are currently in for some of the people, if that could hinder the whole entire esports movement going forward?
Carl, you want to go first?
Big question. Yeah. Sorry. I don't want to drop too much on you guys.
So I think we need all of it. Simply just like any kind of news, like you have, like, say, because I listen to a lot of political news. You have, like, you're pretty much fact-based, but you're pretty much fact-based journalism with, like, CNN for some of the time, and, like,
CNN's mostly pretty factual.
Yeah, it's mostly pretty fact-based. And MSNBC is a little bit less, but there's a lot of opinion, but it's
better than Fox News.
I'm getting there. And then you also have like hard facts like NPR, right? Like NPR politics is just straight up fact. And you need that, right? But you also need the more opinionated voices to, because people want to know what other people are thinking and not just the straight up facts. Like, because a lot of opinion based news also gives analysis of the news as opposed to just facts. So like, Don Lemon, Rachel Maddow, and
these are people that give their
they give their opinion, but they also back it up with facts, and that's like Kelsey Moser, right? And then you have people like Sean Hannity who are crazy, and that's how I think Thorin is. And we don't really need that. Okay, bye.
You think so? You actually compare Thorin to Sean Hannity? Wait, Ken.
Your mic is muted.
Oh, sorry, mic's muted. I actually think Thorin and Sean Hannity is a good example. Yes. Of course, I also liked Sean Hannity. Not because I agree with him. I just think he brings a good bit to reporting.
Isn't he like in trouble recently because of a bunch of real estate shit? Isn't that
I'm sure he's always in trouble. He's much like Rush Limbaugh. Like they're always in trouble with something, and I think they bring a good element to the table. I think there are some people who bring only opinion and no fact.
Yes.
And I don't think that's Thorin. I don't think
no, he does back it up.
Like those are people who I think bring some fact. They might read into it something that maybe I don't see or you don't see. Both Thorin and Sean Hannity are good examples of they say things all the time that I'm just like, yeah, I don't see it, buddy.
Well, but like the reason why I compare them is because they're aggressive. They're very aggressive, but they're very specific about the facts that they choose to
look into. Yeah.
Not only to look into, but also to support their own narrative. They take a lot of things out of context.
I don't think, at least with Thorin, I don't watch enough Sean Hannity to explain to say what he does and doesn't take out of context.
Thank God.
But I will say Thorin, at least from what I can watch, he doesn't take a whole lot out of context. He just puts it in his own context.
Yeah. I think that's you're right.
I think there's a difference between like taking something out of context and just be like, so and so said this, which happens in news media all the time, and that's not a Fox News. That's not an MSNBC problem. That's an all news problem. Yeah. And I think we actually don't have that problem as much in esports, that people just frame facts to their own context rather than taking things out of context. And I think that's kind of a luxury that we have in esports because everything's so readily available on the internet. And thanks to Reddit, people consume what happens in esports at their own rate. So you can't really take things out of context. But to directly answer the question, what kind of reporting do we need? I agree with Carl. We need all sorts. I think because of the new nature of esports, there's not a whole lot of reporting going on.
That was gonna be my question.
Right. So because there's not a whole lot of reporting going on, maybe we're just getting the more fringe people. And when I say fringe, I mean like even Kelsey Moser, where it's like authoritative, fact-based reporting rather than just because if you look at like mainstream, sports reporting, you get a lot more of Jacob Wolf and Travis. Like that's just there's a core 50% of people.
Yeah, but it's boring as hell though.
It's boring as hell.
I don't think it's boring as hell. Like I love Travis's interviews with all the players.
No. That's not what I say. It's boring.
Okay.
He's saying traditional reporting.
The Wolf shit for regular sports.
It's boring.
And maybe if I was invested in someone getting traded from the Miami Heat to the Boston Celtics, I would find that extremely interesting because I actually did look forward to Jacob Wolf's next announcement. I looked forward to that because I was invested. But
yeah, and I think that's kind of where esports needs to get. We need all types of reporting, but you need the ESPN type talk shows of esports, kind of like what we do here, where we kind of just like throw opinions out. And here's what happened. Here's what we think should happen and where we're going. And that's kind of what happens on ESPN. But in between, they sprinkle in the Jacob Wolf type stuff, literally, because he's their reporter. But they do it for traditional sports. They sprinkle in the factual stuff, and then they use their color commentators and color reporters to talk about the exciting stuff. So we need to get to that point where we're not just relying on 6 or 7 major reporters to say, here's what I think, or here's what happened, but we need 70, 80, 100 reporters saying, here's what I think, and here's what happened, you know? And so I think it's just the sheer volume or lack thereof that's holding sports back.
Here's the question is, because if you think about it, at least in the League of Legends sphere, we have Jacob Wolf as doing pure reporting. He's just saying what's happening. And Travis is really the only one doing interviews, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, Blitz Esports.
Blitz Esports. But they've actually not been as many within the last year. This year, they have not done nearly as many interviews.
There are some people that do some stuff in Europe. I forget what the company is called, but it's like, you also have to think about like what we watch, because we watch mostly North American stuff, which is readily available to us. The internet prioritizes North American stuff to us because we're in North America. And so I won't claim to know what other parts of the world do all the time, because I'm very focused on North America.
Yeah, I would assume that China and Korea probably have better.
Oh, Korea's got to be so much better.
It's probably better over there. But my question is, do we have enough? Is there do we need more people doing this kind of interviews and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
You think so? Because literally, I feel like Travis has a monopoly on that.
Yes, he does, and it's as much as I love Travis.
Because I love it.
I am mad about it, but I'm not mad at him. I'm mad that it's a thing. You know, like, I love Travis. All right. I think he does a great job. I just wish we had other people. You know, like Avali is a great example. Whereas like Avali started working for Travis and then Riot sucked her up. And it's just like, well, why couldn't she be a competitor? You know, like I would prefer to watch, you know, a straight up, you know, 2 YouTube channels every week, as like Avali's YouTube channel and Travis's YouTube channel, and then also somebody post game interviewing the Riot people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas now we just get Travis and Avali post game. So like, I'm not saying that she's poorly suited for that, because she does a great job. I'm not saying Travis does a bad job interviewing people. He does a great job. I just wish that we also had some other people interviewing these same people at the same quality that we get from Travis.
Another thing,
I just think we need more people. That's
another thing that I think
that job. Just need more people.
I think another thing that I think is interesting is that esports, the way that they, at least in League of Legends, the other content that you can consume outside of the game, outside of the esports side of the game, besides like Hotline League, is the dive. What's interesting about the dive is that those are people that commentate and analyze the game. Yeah. They're not journalists, but in a way, what they're doing is journalistic content. Does that make sense?
But they're also like contracted by Riot.
Yeah, they're also Riot employees.
It is a Riot produced show.
Yeah, and what the comparison that I want to make, is to Dota, another game that I follow very, very closely. Because Dota doesn't have people writing articles about it. There's not people writing articles about stuff happening in Dota the same way that they're writing articles about stuff happening in League. And there's not that many League articles coming out if we really think about it. But the thing is that Dota has such good personalities, and they have tournaments almost all the time, that I don't know if you really need that much journalism for it to still maintain as like a solid, successful.
Oh, I do.
Okay, what, like?
I don't think you.
I don't know where I think I'm confusing myself and where I'm going.
I don't think you need. I don't think you need the amount of journalism for esports that you see with like regular sports. However, as a fan, I want it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
I think what I'm trying to say is like someone like Travis at one time was also sort of connected with Riot, and it's been around since the beginning. Mm-hmm. So like there hasn't been any new real blood coming into the way that League of Legends journalism has been done.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same way that Dota just doesn't have journalism. Maybe it's just like somewhere along the way.
I don't think you need the journalism because of how readily available streams are in general. Like a lot of the news and stuff you'll just hear on streams. You don't need, you don't need articles about it, right? You just need like one or two shows like Hotline League, which like
I would much rather consume a show or a podcast.
Yeah,
I would read something.
I think we need a whole lot more content, but also it needs to be organic. So like chicken and egg, like do we need more esports journalism, or do we need more esports events, or do we just need to make esports events more readily accessible? And I don't mean streams. I mean like physical esports events. I mean, we went to Miami. That was the most easily accessible for us to go to, and it was a 14-hour drive to Miami.
Yeah.
But
any of the other places that the finals have been in the past, 4 years would have also been a significant drive or plane.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that for
it's just the where we are.
You think about it, but maybe it's just that the market's just, growing a little too slowly because I look, it's growing faster than probably like football grew when football was new, but it's growing too slow for me as a person who's grown up watching traditional sports. I'm like, now I want my esports to be just as big. Right. And I think that's kind of a product of the times we live in. But like, if I wanted to go to an NBA game, I can drive 3 hours to Memphis, or I can drive 3 hours to New Orleans and I can watch an NBA game.
Yeah.
I can't drive 3 hours and go watch an esports event. Well, I can, because every so often a major esports event happens in New Orleans, like once a year, maybe. But like, it's not the, 100 games that the Grizzlies play or the 100 games that the Pelicans play. It's different.
So you're saying that you want this kind of content to fill that void.
I want that
you can.
Right. Yeah. So I want simultaneously this content to fill that void, and I also want that void filled with live events that I can go to, because I want to meet other, esports fans. Anybody who watches this, please reach out. Leave a comment.
We have a viewer. Phone call. One of you guys watching, because we have 2 people watching right now. One of them is me.
No.
Okay. Other person watching. If I would love for you to call me. 601-366-4455. There you go. My cell phone number. Let me know.
Wait, Ken, what's your social security number?
Please call me.
Do not.
I'd love to talk. Because I just love connecting with other people that love esports. And I think that's where we're going to get. I just don't think we're there yet. And the more of it we create, the more accessible it can be and the bigger it's going to get.
Yeah.
So that's my take on why we need other esports, shows. Travis is great. His monopoly is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think if another person came on, I don't think they'd take away from Travis. I think the same people that would watch Travis would watch the other people and be just as happy with the other person.
And I don't think he would lose, like you're saying, I don't think he would lose any viewers or any amount of hours watched, because I don't think the market is saturated yet.
It's not. So. It's not. It's not saturated. It's not satisfied, for sure. Yeah. So I think we're in a good spot for esports.
Dsog Gaming gonna slip in right there.
Slide in.
We're gonna come out on the top, baby.
What is this?
Travis will be working for us. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to partner with Travis. I don't want him to work for us.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Everyone who watches this, please go tweet at Travis Gafford. Work with Dirty South Gaming.
Work with Dirty South. That'd be pretty dope, dude.
Everyone.
I think that we need. Sometimes I wish that Travis would be a little bit heavy hitting, and sometimes I want Thorin to chill. So I kind of want something in the middle. And we kind of described that something in the middle as Kelsey Moser, but I did not like Kelsey.
No. we are in the middle.
Yeah,
to be honest, like if you're talking about strict League of Legends content, like I actually think we're pretty in the middle.
Yeah. If we have pros on, I don't know. If we talk to pro players, I don't know if I have the balls to be like, so dude, why does your team fucking blow? You know what I mean?
I have no problem.
I don't know.
If I talked to Guardian, like if I talked to Matt, I'd be like, how does it feel? Like, because there's an appropriate way to say it. Like, hello, at Matt. You know, I'm calling him out. How does it feel to be on the worst team in the league, 2 splits in a row, and always be looking for improvement? Jeez, you know, it's not. Right. I'm not saying that like he's a bad player. He's just on bad teams. And what is it like to try to strive for improvement as a player? Do they have a plan to get to move up? You know, it's not. I'm not hating on him. I'm not saying he's a crappy guy. I'm not saying that Golden Guardians is the worst team in the league because of their content. I'm saying they're objectively 10th place, right? Like I like them. They got some cool players on their team. I'm excited to see how they grow. But, you know, what is that growth plan? How do they handle that? I mean, and we were, you know, Millsaps cross country. Like we were, you know, a bottom tier team in the league. What was our growth plan for being better runners, you know? And we had one. And if you had talked to me about it, I mean, you guys saw me. I was never discouraged because I knew we were the worst. I was discouraged by other things. But it was
I never
always
knew you
like,
guys were actually the worst. I always thought you were pretty good.
We had some good runners. Jared and I were solid. We had some years where we didn't have such good runners, and we had some other years where we had some pretty good runners. But no, we never finished above 4th.
Well, when I go semi-pro in Ultimate Frisbee, then I'll call you guys.
All right.
And,
bye.
I'll see you guys on the other side.
But no, I think talking to bottom tier players, I think they wouldn't mind being told that they're bottom tier as long as it's not offensive, you know, and talk to about the fact that they're bottom tier. I mean, yeah, that's it.
Speaking of Golden Guardians, and this is a little bit of a sidetrack. What do you guys think about them dropping high and picking up Mickey?
They're literally becoming 2017 summer split Team Liquid. It's just
Mickey only played 2 games. I mean,
he played 2 games, but like, let's talk about Mickey real quick. All right, this guy he was on the Rocks Tigers after all of the OG Rocks Tigers left. He was on the Rocks Tigers of last year. I'm pretty sure he got benched at some point. Like, this is a guy who's like a C tier mid laner in Korea.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why he's.
You can find a North American talent that is better than this guy, speaks English. Get fucking DeMonte, man. That guy is good.
I don't know why. I understand why High left. It was probably a personal thing for him, where he was like, "Look, I kind of just want to focus on myself." Right? All right. I assume that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to focus
probably doesn't feel like he
contributes a whole lot other than veteran status.
I don't think he wants to play like second fiddle to someone else. Like, I don't think he would be okay with splitting time, is what I'm saying.
That makes sense. And so like I'm not upset with High. I'm not upset with like the rest of the players for like a lot of people were like, why would contracts? Why did he go to the team that like was a downgrade? And it's just like, well, maybe he wanted to try to make a name for himself. Like maybe he wanted to try something different. Nothing wrong with that. But Golden Guardians, why did you pick up Mickey over literally anyone else that could speak English? There's plenty of European talent, I mean,
especially because this was a team that from the beginning had said, we are interested in building talent over time.
Yeah.
And if the point of your organization is to build a talent over time, why not build North American talent?
Yeah.
Because I think that was also part of what they said. Yeah, I think part of what they said was like, we're interested in building NA talent over time.
Yeah. So
DeMonte.
So to answer Carl's question, how do we feel? I don't like it.
Like it. Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I liked a lot of what Golden Guardians was doing with the way that they were trying to farm up a team that didn't look like it had a lot of promise, but they were going to just bootstrap this, North American team, say we're going to go for synergy over talent and develop the talent. I liked that. I don't like Mickey as like a weird grab at talent.
Yeah.
Bring back Ness quick.
The other thing about this is I still think that a lot of people look at this team and say, "Oh, these are young guys. These guys they got a lot of time to improve." And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, Contracts is still pretty young. Deftly, obviously, he's a very young player. Lorlo and Matt have been playing for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
These are not rookie players. These are not young players. They've been in the league for a while.
I mean, they're young. I mean, you think about it, though, like, they're like 19, 20. I mean, you think about that.
Here's a good comparison.
Smithy's 27.
Mithy? 27?
Smithy.
Oh, Smith. Okay. Here's a good comparison, though. A lot of people say that these are younger players. I'm pretty sure Haunser has only played 1 year more than that. Do we consider
Haunser and Lorlo came in the same split?
No, they didn't. Haunser was on Gravity.
Yeah.
Oh.
For a whole year. And then Lorlo, Matt, and Dsog started. So we don't consider Haunser a young player. He's only played 1 year longer.
I think he's young. I would consider him a young player in the sense that I think he has a long career ahead of him. Does that make sense? Like I think of young players not so much as young as in near their rookie split.
You mean
I consider him literally how long can their career go? And like Haunser's a good example of like he's kind of a young player where he can stay around for a while. Dsog stay around for a long time. Lorlo, Matt, if they can improve at the same rate that is expected of them, I think so. Which of the two, I think Matt has the ability to improve over time and stay. Lorlo, I think he's looking iffy. He's in the past shown that he might be able to do it, but as of recent, he's looking iffy. And like, if I were Golden Guardians, if you said trade out High or trade out Lorlo, I would have traded out Lorlo.
Agreed.
Personally, because High can bring so much to younger players, literally by age, younger players. He can bring so much to teach them that I think is just completely invaluable in an organization that is looking to bring up talent.
I also think High may have gotten like the sense of that, he has been like completely removed from what he knew. You know what I mean? Like he was Cloud9 for the longest time. And I know that he spent the whole entirety of last year on FlyQuest. And then he spent this split. Maybe he's just thinking it's time to write off.
It might be time.
And like same thing for Elimination. He needs to go. He needs to write off. Balls has already kind of ridden off.
Optic cut him. I'm so happy. I love Lemon. He's a great analyst.
Maybe Lorlo should retire and go play professional Smite with his brother. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Lorlo's brother is a professional Smite player.
I did not know that.
Kind of cool thing. But
Lorlo's not a terrible league player, but whatever.
No, I think if Matt was on any other team, he would have looked. If he was on a top 6 team, Matt would be.
If he had a top 6 ADC,
I actually think definitely wasn't too bad near the end. I think their bot lane was pretty good at the end.
Okay, so you think they might come out in summer and be like 7th or 8th? I don't see them making playoffs, but I think they could move up in the standings.
I just want a higher tiered team to give Matt a chance. That's all I'm saying, because I think he's kind of gotten a shit hand.
Well,
the last year at least. Yeah. Because when he was on Liquid, I think he was pretty damn good.
I mean, he was pretty damn good, but like he got Piglet. I feel so bad for him. Like, why would it? No one wants to play with Piglet.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's an ass.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead.
Piglet's the one player I'll insult. Screw that guy.
I think we're going to go ahead.
I think we're going to end it there.
And wrap this one up.
Too much to drink. Bye.
And our viewer has disappeared. All right, that's probably you, Ken. Probably pissed him off, dude. Piglet was watching, Ken, and you pissed him off.
That was Piglet. Piglet watched our screen.
But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll tune in next week. We're always here. Join the Dirty South Gaming Revolution. Smash that like button. subscribe, share us to your friends, do all the things. Big things coming in the future, guys, for Dirty Sock Game of that day. And we're gonna call it a night. Thank you for watching. Peace out, friends.